Hey everybody, Dr. Moon here. Welcome back to the channel. Happy snow day. I was going to make a video for you and explain something that happened in the news to a celebrity that I'm sure a lot of you will be familiar with, and in a way that he got in trouble busking. And I want to make sure that when you go out, you don't run into any kind of problems that he may have encountered. But it's snowing. So I thought, oh, maybe I'll take you out for a walk in the snow. And so let's walk up through here. And the snowfall, as long as my camera doesn't get a snowflake on it, we'll be okay. So this is what I'd like for you to do, is go online, put in celebrity busker asked to leave in India, and the information will come up. I didn't want to use anyone's name. This individual is a wonderful person, a beautiful person that always gives back. Whenever he is playing in his area, he always usually tries to go somewhere and busk. And this is what I want you to understand. He is a celebrity. He has tons of money, tons of opportunity to play for all kinds of people. And every chance he gets, he goes out onto the streets and he makes his music and himself available and accessible. No ticket, no charge, no standing in line. But there was a little bit of a problem with this. So further, what was going on? It's unfortunate because if you have watched any of my videos and you've heard me talk about fundamental things, if you go out to be a busker, it is to not block traffic and not to create a noise complaint. Those are like two fundamental aspects of when you go out. You don't want to be in anyone's way, and you can't overpower the sound of the street. Or at least that's not what you're supposed to be trying to do. So I wanted to point out a few things that happened to this young man and the way that it was not really well thought out, whoever it was that found him this location. So let me explain. Where he was at was a side street that is a super popular tourist destination. They have the street closed off, but it looks like you could use it for vehicle traffic, but it's not very wide at all. You can go on Google Maps and look and actually see the street that's in the article. I urge you to do it. It's really interesting. It's lined with all types of shops and stores, really high end. It's a right well-to-do area. And where this young man set up, he set up on the side with his back against a low wall that was there and a bit of a barrier between him and the pedestrians who were walking by. Across from that, there's a little bit of a open area, and then there are businesses there. So the area is pretty narrow right there. The street is closed off on both ends, but it's a long walking street that tourists try to make a destination when they come. So this is where we're at. He had played the night before, and I had heard 30,000 people. He has set up to play the next night, again, for a crowd that large. And this is the magic of the street. This is what I want you to understand, that is the great equalizer about playing or performing on the street. It's accessible to anyone. Anyone can do it. And so it's so magical because there's no separation of the stage and everything like that. When you're on the street and you're one-on-one with people in your community, or you're on one-on-one with the people that you're meeting, it's a super magical spiritual connection that you make, that you're able to have. And even though this young man could have done anything he wanted that day, he's tons of money and influence and connections, he had asked someone and they had given him permission to go down and play on the street. So he took a couple of microphones and some pedals, which were be a small amount. It's still too much for that small street. But he had taken a couple of speakers down and set them up to play. There was a young man there that was a security guard, a policeman that was there. They can imagine their panic in seeing this super popular person set up to play music. So that put them in a difficult position, because I'm sure that they would like to listen to the music and sure they would like to listen, but their responsibility is for getting people moving along the street that is there is really narrow. So in the video, you see the young man playing. He starts to sing. He's holding up a microphone for the crowd to sing along with him on whatever song he's singing. And then you see a security guard come, and he actually leans down and unplugs the young man. Young man's a bit frustrated, and that's pretty much the end of the clip. So it makes everybody look bad. It made the young man look bad because he had gotten cut off. And that's the thing that I want you to understand. Even the best people busking, if you're out performing or you're sharing your art, you will be asked to move at some time in your career. Everyone has to do it. Everyone goes through it. So don't worry about that, even the most famous. But this is some of the fundamental things that I would think about it that were unnecessary and caused the situation. The young man knew that he was extremely popular. And although someone had given him permission to be there, if you look on Google Maps, if you look on it, I would not think it's enough room for a sizable gathering. And they went ahead and set up there and started to play. One of the fundamental things that I think will keep you safe on the street when you go out to play is that you have to have the ultimate respect for any law enforcement or anyone that is in any authority or has a question. Be polite, be cooperative. Stop what you're doing and hear them out, understand what it is. Because if indeed they had permission to be on the street, then someone within their group or their entourage should have had a piece of paper that they could whip out and show that they had permission to be there. And whoever had given permission, if they had, really hadn't thought it through that well, in my opinion, because it was a narrow street for someone that popular. You're not supposed to create a noise complaint. There are some vendors that are set up on the street. Someone within that community, not the vendors, but someone within the community there on the street had called the police because there was someone setting up to play and they were playing loudly. And in the video, you do see the young man holding up a microphone for a crowd to join in on singing. So don't create a noise complaint. If you do, someone's going to complain. And the worst was that they did not stop when the policeman came up. That was fundamentally it, in that he was then forced to lean down, unplug him, made him look bad, made the crowd not like it, but it put a good intention towards sharing art and sharing music and sharing into something that was a little awkward. Because I can imagine that it's a compliment to the artist, because the security guard or the policeman knew how popular he was and how much of a situation that was going to create. It was going to draw a crowd. Jared Stout's a great busker. Jared Stout draws a crowd. You can't block traffic. He couldn't set up right against a street where people are trying to pass. That is a fundamental thing about it. So those three things: you can't block traffic, you can't create a noise complaint, and you must always be polite and cooperative with whoever you encounter on the street. It's a magical opportunity to be out in the public and be able to share your art, your music, your writings, your poetry, your dance, your creative movement, whatever you're doing. Remember that it is your First Amendment rights to be out, and it is a powerful thing to remember that you have at your disposal. It is your right to be out expressing yourself and getting comfortable with it. And so I hope that the videos that I'm making, some of the suggestions and things that I'm making, are helping you think about it in terms of being able to do something that you want to do that is creative within your community, wherever you are, and in terms of being able to stay safe and hassle-free. As long as you're not doing any of those things, there's no reason for the police to have any type of issue with you. You are just simply out doing your thing. You're not blocking traffic. You're not creating a noise complaint. I thank you so much for watching and listening. I hope you enjoy walking the snow. It's beautiful. I hope you stay safe wherever you are. You're good and safe and warm, and that you're ready for spring. We're all ready for spring, and we'll get through all of this together. So have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next video.